All right, recording in progress. All right, so all of you should have the ability to take yourselves off mute if you have any questions. But if you want to raise your hand first, it's going to play your time so that let me know that you have your question. Tonight, uh, I'm not really sure. I think Sal will probably be joining us later. But we have, let me check the list real quick. Uh, and we got Biker Boy on the list. So Biker, you could take yourself off of mute whenever you want. Anything you want to input as far as like any tickers you're looking at, etc. That's cool. And I think if that is the Lex that I think it is, you can do so as well. If you have any tickers or if you're just here to listen, that's cool as well too. Not expecting for you to like jump in and say a lot or anything like that. Just um, so how the weekend, if this is your first time with the weekend watch list, I mean, essentially what we do is like we're kind of just giving y'all a view of what we did on the come up and still do now. Just come together, look at tickers, and look at potential plays that could potentially hit this week. Obviously, there is going to be a lot going on. Let me open up the calendar real quick. Um, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Didn't know, so I didn't want to assume, but that's cool though. So yeah, we definitely got some things going on this week. A lot of FOMC for real. Fed Harker, talking twice on Monday. Tuesday, Fed Williams. We got retail sales. Fed Bowman, Barkin. That's on Tuesday. What Wednesday? What do we got? We got building permits. What else we got? The oil stuff. Fed Williams, Fed Waller, the beige book, Fed Bowman, Fed Harker again, Fed Cook. So there's a like basically you get the point of what I'm saying. Obviously Thursday the jobless claims as well too. That's going to come through. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some things that I'm missing out. But obviously you can go ahead and check the economic calendar yourself. Um, obviously a week of speeches, so like anything could really happen. And then obviously I'm not bringing this up to create a conversation about it or like be sided on it, but obviously what's going on over in Israel, and it looks like of course we're sticking in it, right? The USA is definitely getting involved in it. Um, I just read an article about they're sending another aircraft carrier to the Mediterranean. So um, this is not to scare anybody, but if this is not kept in check, this could be kind of like a domino effect. Um, Major powers could start throwing their hands in it, and that could potentially lead to some other bigger things, which is obviously why you're probably seeing the sell-off in the market, the uncertainty, because um, obviously with war, things could potentially sell off, and things are uncertain when it comes to war, how everybody's going to react to it, who's going to get in, who's not going to get into it, who's going to be involved, etc. So yeah, basically tread carefully this week. Obviously, we had that sell-off on Friday as well too. If you were in puts, you should have done quite well for yourself. If you were in calls, I hope you respected your stop loss and got the hell out. Unless you're in like SQQ, which leads me to the first, because I know some of y'all just like playing calls only. So I tried to look at tickers that could potentially, head up this week if we have a bearish week. And SQQQ, did I say four Qs or three Qs? SQQQ. There we go. Um, that's definitely one of the tickers that I think you should look at as far as if we go bearish this week to the call side. Again, the video itself is not gonna give you the full breakdown. That's what I will be included in the watch list that gets posted in Zamunda Swings channel, so I'm not going to like break down every single time frame. But if you're looking at, if you're currently looking at the screen right now, we got the 132 up on the day. But more importantly, obviously we've made lower lows here. Obviously, we didn't take out this low, but we have taken out that low, and just maybe we did take out this low over here as well too. We just didn't take out that one. But you can still draw the bottom of the broader formation off of that. So we go 132 up. We also got the 2-2 reversal on the 2-day. Currently actionable signal on the 4-day. Make sure that when you're looking at these hybrid timeframes to ensure, like, make sure you're aware of if the candle is still open or not, right? Because you don't want to say like, okay, this is currently inside. So when it triggers to the upside, then I'm gonna go ahead and take it because this candle right now is still open. The 4-day candle just opened on Friday the 13th. Right. But then over here on the week, obviously, we're not up on the week, but kind of a little bit of a hammer there working. We got a little bit of exhaustion from the upside, but mostly exhaustion from the downside. And then more importantly, it looks like we closed right around the same levels that we closed the week previously as well too. That's the 6-week. Let me flip that back to the 2-week. And so the 2-week, that hammer looks a little bit more prominent on the 2-week. Again, just make sure you're verifying if this candle is closed or not, and it's not. We just experienced the first week of the 2-week candle, so we got the next week. That's the candle that will close off of it. Inside, the month is still inside, and obviously the quarter is still inside. But when you're looking at the smaller time frames, potentially you're looking at, again, it looks like, a reversal on the smaller time frames heading into, this week. Oh, I forgot to say, this week options expire as well too. So again, you can see, some heavy volatility this week. Give me a second. Let me check on something real quick. All right. All right. So, Biker, if you have any tickers that you want to look at, I got a list, but I usually like kind of do like a bounce back and forth type situation when it's me and Sal. So if you have any tickers that you want to look at, more than happy to, take yourself off of mute and we can go from there. If you don't, that's cool as well too.
Yeah, what's going on, brother? How you doing tonight?
I am good. Can't complain. Been a long day with a 3-year-old, but I'm good.
I don't have those problems, so I can't.
So you can't
I
relate. I
can't.
got you. I got you.
But I haven't been able to look at charts too much since the class, but it is a couple tickers that caught my attention. I know Rose had mentioned Adobe. I mean, not Adobe. PG, and I had typed in the search box to see if somebody talked about PG, but PG has earnings and dividends coming out soon. I think the 18th, I believe.
So earnings is on. Yep, earnings is on the
Yeah,
18th. Yep.
yeah. I seen on a 3-day and the 4-day. So the 4-day has a double inside. It's not closed yet, but we could end up double inside up until earnings and
Mm-hmm.
dividends. And what I see happening is I see them selling off before or after earnings and dividends payout, and then going back up to the upside, which would be the bottom of a broad information, taking out those previous lows, and then going to the top. Um, I want to see how that plays out. But those double insides and all the hammers have me interested for sure.
Absolutely. So, and that's a good point to make, especially like for swing traders, right? And I'm gonna keep preaching this. You don't necessarily like if you see a good decent setup, you don't necessarily have to take it immediately, right? You can see how it reacts. Like for example, what Biker was saying, like you see that there's earnings there, so you don't have to enter. Like let's say it triggers to the upside immediately, you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to enter. You can see how it responds to earnings first, and then if it gives you, that signal to continue to go, then go ahead and jump in it. But this is where, like for me, I call it stalking. Like when I see a play, a potential setup, and I see like potential areas of where it could bounce off of, we want to see how it reacts to that first, and then go ahead and enter in on it. But I'm gonna add this one to the list, and then I wrote down a little summary sell off before heading into the upside, making those lower lows and bouncing off that broad information. So I definitely make sure I add that to the list. Um, Another one that I saw, I think maybe Sal maybe mentioned was um AMD, I think maybe, or did he say Nvidia? I'm not really sure. But
AMD looks good too. They
right,
had that sell on Friday.
yeah. So the sell-off on Friday was one thing, but then I'm also looking at, when you look at again the 3 day, 3 day went outside, and it is not closed. We Monday will close the 3 day. The end of Monday will close the 3 day. So we're already looking at outside on we're already looking at outside on the 3 day. The 4 day we got the 2-2 reversal, right? After making highs, right? We failed around the same exact area as this previous high over here and over here as well too. And so, actually, let me, for those that maybe can't see it, there, right? So we failed around the same exact area. So we got the 2-2 reversal on the 4 day. And so on the week, we actually have an actionable signal, which is a shooter. So we could potentially come back, take out this target, and then maybe take out the target down here to make lower lows. And again, we're right back to that broadening formation, retesting the bottom of that broadening of that weekly broadening formation as well too. And then one thing also I wanted to point out, also looking at SMH, kind of similar, right? The only thing is we just don't have a bearish shooter on the week, but kind of similar as far as what happened on Friday. Again, we didn't go outside on the 3 day, but again, we hit a top here. We exhausted, sold off, came back into the range. So again, Monday is the close of the 3 day. So we still do have potential to go outside. Potential, not saying it will happen, but there is potential there. If not, then we're set up for the 2-2 reversal on the 3 day. We have the actionable signal on the 4 day, but again, this candle is still open, so there is a chance that we go 2-2 reversal to the downside for AMD. I'm picking AMD over NVIDIA, not because I like AMD better, but I'm trying to get y'all less expensive tickers so that you can build up to be able to trade those expensive tickers, right? So I just want to throw that out because I would say, honestly, um, I like the setup of NVIDIA as well too, but again, I would prefer to give you guys, because I know we have some beginners coming in, I'll prefer to give you guys some tickers that would still move as equally well, just not as expensive as what NVIDIA would be. So, yeah. So NVIDIA, excuse me, AMD is one that I'm going to go ahead and add to the list as well. I think Sal had mentioned it, so I'll put in that it was something that we both were looking at. Sorry, I was just checking. I thought I got a text message. Um, but yeah, so that's AMD. Honestly, chips overall can look pretty bearish right now on the sector. Biker, if you have another one, I could flip it back to you. If not, then I'm gonna move on to what's next on my list.
Nope, you can keep moving, brother.
All right, cool. Um, so this why did it not pull up? So cloud sector, it was a sector that kind of got me interested. Obviously, the sell-off on Friday, but then if you look the previous days, right, we kind of hit a top, right, exhausted, and now we got the reversal. We went 2-1-2 reversal on the downside, to the downside on the daily. We actually got a rev strat on the 3 day. Again, 3 days not closed, but unless it's still a two down, right? Once it goes two down, the only thing it can go after that is go three. So it's a two down, 1-2-2 rev strat. Um, and then on the week, we have the shooter as well. So when I'm looking at that, there's some tickers that you can look at in the cloud sector. CRM would be one of them. that sticks out to me. But the one that I'm pinpointing is actually snow. So with snow, we've made lower highs. I know that's kind of small, but we've made lower highs, right? We had the run up, but couldn't take out the highs up here. So we reversed and we heading back down, it seems like. Obviously the 2-2 reversal on the 3-day, but let me flip that back to the 2-day. And let me check something real quick. Okay, good. Flip that back on the 2-day. We also had a setup as well too. We went 2-1-2, reversal back to the downside, 2-2 reversal on the 4-day, and then on the week, um, we went shooter. Now, if we do continue to drop, I have 142.40 marked out on, because if you look at some of the larger time frames, that's where we bounced the last time, right? Over here, back in August, and then over here in September. So we could be coming back down to retest that if we, get a huge drop. Obviously, we would need to get past that level first of 148 to the downside. But if we get past that, then yeah, 142.40 is an area that I have marked as a potential bounce. If not, then this thing could really bleed, right? So just throwing that out there. Again, I'll have the full workup or the full summary. Um, the full summary on Sunday, hopefully before my soccer game, which is going to be late. I was going to say to the mentorship people, but I just realized we closed the mentorship. So actually, I have a free Sunday night. I'm not saying that like I'm happy I'm done with the mentorship. It was fun, y'all. I'm just saying, like, I just realized I thought I was prepping for it. So also I saw this ticker kind of get thrown around in my circle, and then also I saw on Twitter as well too. Roblox, right? So the shooter on it's still a shooter on the week, but obviously it's still bullish. Um, it's not currently in force, but I still like it as a watch because if we can get that 2-2 reversal on the week, right? We got the run up on the 2-day and obviously the daily. Draw your Broadening formation, right? Looks like we hit a little bit of exhaustion there. We're reversing, we're coming back down, and we have I'm sorry, my mind is blanking. A PMG to set up to the downside on the 2-day as well too. So we have plenty of targets to take out on the way back down. So this could be a pretty lucrative trade. The only thing I'm going to say though is like, watch out because the FTC is still currently bullish, but it wouldn't take much to flip the FTC back to bearish. I believe, like, for example, where is it? The month 28.97. So as you can see, that could be potentially done next week, right? Especially if we bleed, we're at 30.51, ATR of $1.11. So it's potential at 28.97. We flip the month back to the bearish side. And then I believe also, let me stretch this out. Yeah, that's actually the same area where the quarter was flipped red as well too. Will flip red as well too. The only thing I'm gonna say though is watch out right there because that seems to be an area of support, right? Every single time that price action's gotten below that, it's always kind of bounced back. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I like Roblox. It's more of a watch. It may not trigger on Monday, but it's still a watch to me. And then, like I said, I like the potential to the downside. It's hit the top of a broad formation. Just really quickly for the newbies, if you can't see it, I'll just draw it right here on the 4-day there and there. Right. So, um, price can definitely come all the way back down. Look at 20. I'm looking at it to come all the way if it can. This could potentially be a swing where it can come all the way back down to the 25 levels before potentially bouncing back up. So just be aware of that. I will go ahead and add that in. And I will add in a note that it's a watch. If you feel confident in it, then I would say start out, maybe build a starter position in it, and then, add more as it continues to trade in your direction. I saw, I'm gonna, oh shit. I'm gonna add this in because I saw a biker you had put it out for homework. So, um, actually, that would be kind of cheating, wouldn't it? I just thought about that. That would be kind of cheating if I put out,
I mean,
if I put
not
out.
not really though, because I mean we can go over it while we in here, so they kind of just get like a front row seat of it. But um, nah, we could go over it.
All right, cool. I was like, yo, I was like, wait, he did put it out for home. I was like, this would be good to talk about. But like, wait, he just put it out for homework. So then like they could just literally repeat this exact same things.
I
Um
mean, homework done. If they say it, then
I mean, if you want to give your insight first, and then I can add on to it.
yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna just try to do it off of your screen. So if you look at Adobe, we had that shooter and then we went two down. So it's the same as Roblox. It has that PMG type setup to the downside. Um, it's also a beautiful broad information. So if you look on the daily, it's like the most perfect broad information that you can draw.
Mm-hmm.
We just put up that new high. We had equal highs before, and like you mentioned before, we struggle in that zone
Mm-hmm.
as resistance. So I think that is a beautiful setup back to the downside.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna draw it out because I'm not gonna
Okay.
cheat too much. Yeah, I'm not gonna cheat too much, but
Okay.
we will
Okay.
talk. Like you did mention, equal highs struggled once we got above that. So, and yes, it is a beautiful broad information, but I'm not gonna draw it for you. I want you to identify it on your own. So I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna cheat too much. So at least that way, it still honors the integrity of the homework.
Okay. I can live with that. Make sure y'all chart that if you're on here. Make sure y'all do that.
Yeah, that's why, like, so I'm not gonna chart it for you, but he kind of did give hints. So at this point, you should be able to connect the dots the rest of the way. And then yeah, give in your, if you have a bullish bias, if you have a bearish bias, then and then just make sure you explain why, right? And this is gonna help a lot, even if you have no intention of trading it. It is gonna help a lot. It's going to um, get your eyes set, right? That practice does help with looking at charts and then being able to, being able to identify things a hell of a lot faster, right? And then develop a bias as well too, not even just for one side, but for both sides. It just depends on which bias to you feel stronger about. All right. So Adobe, I'm gonna put in, but I'm not gonna put a summary on it. I'll just mark out in the watch list what the different time frames are doing, and you will not see anything drawn on this particular chart. Again, for the integrity of the homework, it is not meant to be mean. It is meant to help you become a better trader so that you can see things on your own. I hope you all understand that. Okay. And this is, I'm really not saying it's just for this group, but then also anybody who listens to this video or watches this video, I should say, later on down the line. Um, I see 3 questions in chat. Mentorship was great. Hey, OG San, what's good? The benefit of being here, just I don't know what that means. It's like two. I'm just seeing 2 squares, so I'm not sure if you like sent an emoji and maybe it's not coming through properly. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, Jazz. It just came in as like 2 squares. Um, All right. So thank you, Oji-san, about the mentorship. Try to provide as much, as good feedback. And actually, I'm excited for the next one. I mean, because then we got the addition of Biker as well too. Like he is an amazing, not to toot his horn just because we're on video, but he's an amazing trader, amazing teacher, sees a lot of things as well too. And I think that addition is going to, really um, help take the mentorship a lot further as far as connecting dots. And, at the end of the day, it's really about just helping you all get to that next level and just being able to see things on your own. And again, not to brag, it's just really cool to catch those DMs of, people in the previous mentorships that are seeing their own plays, ones that were not called out because I do check. Not that I'm like trying to check on your skill level, but I do check to see if you're, if you're taken from what one of the other admins are saying, more so are you finding this on your own. And it's really cool to see that a lot of you are finding your own plays and for your own reasons. That's the more important, your own conviction. That's the more important thing. So kudos to y'all on that. Just checking to see if, let me shoot him a text. Hold up. Because I'm pretty sure he's got like some additions. Or let me ask him what he has. Give me 1 second, though.
Yeah, while Tensho does that, I wanted to say I'm very excited to be part of the next mentorship. As you guys can tell, if you've been in my class, I love teaching. Like I love it. There's a certain satisfaction I get when I teach something, you apply it, and then you understand it and you see what I'm seeing, or you see what other people are seeing, and then you become successful like that. I really take pride in that. And yeah, when you win, I literally feel like I won. And if you fail, then I feel like I failed. So um I'm really excited for this next mentorship for sure. And whoever's in it, whoever signed up in it, we will definitely be locking in. And I will make it a duty to make sure that you understand everything that's going on. If you haven't signed up yet or you're on the fence about it, hey, I recommend it, man. This is going to be something special. So I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, ask around. Ask around. What's the timeline for the next mentorship? I think the dates, I think it's October 29th we're starting. But this mentorship is because we're not doing one for a while, at least until the end of the year after this one. So we're extending this one to be a little bit bigger. So we're also gonna do 2 classes a week just because of the size of the group. I don't mean to make this video about that, but I'm just answering Oji-san's question and then I'll be done and back to the watch list. Um, so yeah, we intend to do Wednesdays and Sundays, so it doesn't affect with our other the Zamunda commitments as well too. Um, what's the link for signing up? I gotta find that. But OG, you've already been in you already been in the mentorship, yo. Oh, you're trying to help out probably, but I mean that's cool. I appreciate that. But yeah, I will get that. I know we have it. I just don't have it on me. I don't remember where it was placed, but yeah, we'll get that. We'll definitely get that. All right. All right. So that was Adobe. A couple of the others. Now keep in mind, I don't plan to trade every single one of these tickers. These are again me looking at tickers that I think one would be good trades, and then two, I was really like trying to find tickers that were small account friendly as well too for any of the newbies that we had coming in. So CLF, right? With CLF on the week, we did end up with kind of a shooterish vibe, right? We ended up with another 2 up. We did take out this high over here. However, couldn't really push up much higher than that. Came back through the range, almost ended up going outside, but obviously didn't happen, right? So we're looking for that 2-2 reversal on the week. As far as the daily goes, the FTC is bearish. As far as the daily goes, um, I wanted to take out obviously this level, right? The 1501 level. If we can do that and then take out, I'm trying to point out where you should be aware of. Just take out that low as well too. We can really see ourselves kind of drop a little bit more. This is also, no, it's not. Never mind. Nope, it's not. Never mind. Um, but basically what I'm looking at on the smaller time frames and even on like the 2 week is that we're seeing that this level right here can't really stay above that. Couldn't really stay above that. Even when you look back, to this point over here. So over here, it's kind of like acting as support, but then over here we see resistance now, 1571. So actionable signal on the daily, actionable signal on the 2 day, but again, the 2 day is not currently closed. It will close on Monday, just like not the three, I'm sorry, that's the 4 day, just like the 3 day. right? The 3 day is going to close. So the 2 day and the 3 day will both close on Monday, and we'll get that new candle. But this is definitely one to watch. I'll throw out some targets out there. I'm even going to give you targets to the upside in case it does reverse and go to the upside. But essentially up at the top, like I said, couldn't really push up past that 15 level back up into 16, kind of exhausted. And then now we have the reversal potentially back down to the downside. We got to take out this low. That will be a TTO back to the downside. And then, yeah, just keep marking out your targets as it continues going. Now, again, this one is it's a slow and steady mover. And the reason why I'm picking out a ticker like this is for that reason. It's not volatile. You're not going to be sitting there biting your nails like, oh my God, it shot up $3 and should I get out only for it to reverse back on me. CLF is a nice little workhorse. That's what I call them, the little workhorse tickers that you can load up on multiple contracts. I'm not saying go full port, but you can definitely get multiple contracts on it. And yeah, you can definitely pretty much once it chooses a direction, it's nice, easy. Actually, let me take away the easy. I hate saying that word because it's like not always easy, but it's less volatile than some of the other popular tickers, and you can still make pretty nice money off of it, to be honest with you. So CLF is definitely one that I'm going to throw out there. And again, it's very small account friendly. I'll give you the targets of what to look for as well too. All right. And yes, on the 4 day and then also on the daily, you can draw broad information. So I'll draw it out so that you can see it as well too. It hit off the top, reversed, and came right back down. So I just know I'm looking for it since it kind of gave that double bottom there at 1501. I'm just looking for it to clear that. And then maybe we could look at potentially the 15 put or the 14.5 if you want to swing it out for a couple of weeks. And yeah, let it take out the 1479 and then just keep pushing lower. And again, FTC is with you. There is earnings the following week, not this week, the following week. So like Biker was saying with PG, we could potentially see the sell-off before earnings, and then if they do have good earnings, they can run it up. Sell off, take out lows, and then could run it up. So potentially this could be, you can kind of get this both ways if you chart it well enough. If it does go to the downside, continue pushing to the downside, you catch it, make your money off of puts, and then catch that reversal right back up to the upside, and then you'll know levels to mark out, like the 16 call or the 15.5 call. All right. Let me see. I gotta head out. Let's have a great week. All right, biker. Let's see what else we got. Let me see. Let's see if he texted me back. Nope, did not. All right, so all right, so cool. For those who can afford it, why is it not typing? So I think that was the ticker that Sal had put in Sal alerts. Let me go look. Let me go back and check real quick. Let me make sure. Alerts. AMD, grab two starter cons and Adobe. So Sal's already in Adobe, just so y'all know. He said he was grabbing. I could have sworn I saw him put something out about AVGO. Was I wrong? Another banger. Let's see. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm asking him right now. All right, so one of the ones, let me confirm if he said AVGO, but Lulu, which also, if I'm not mistaken, is also kind of expensive, if I'm not mistaken. But all right, so you see what's going on with Lulu, right? We're making higher highs after making these, after taking out this high over here and not this one. Overall, though, we're still making lower highs, right? We did take out a couple of highs over here, so you can do the broadening formation from there to there, and then you have the lower part from there to there. So with the shooter on the daily and the 2 day, really a shooter vibes. Let me see what the 3 day is looking like. Okay, not a shooter on the 3 day, but you got shooter vibes to 1 day, 2 day, and then the 4 day, and then the week is giving you an actionable signal inside as well too. So this could potentially end up being um, a setup to the downside, and then the week triggers to the downside as well too. You get the 212 to the downside as well. Now I'm also going to give you to the call side as well, because I'm looking at on the weekly, price has struggled to stay below 363 since getting above it every single time. Like on the week, for example, here back in May, on the 2 week, got below 363, but then rejected and came right back up. Same thing over here. It's just been using it as support. Now, with that being said, if it breaks through and holds below that, this now should flip to resistance. And as you can see, there's a lot of room to the downside, right? You still got this fair value gap that hasn't been completely validated. Let me show you right here. There. That still hasn't been completely validated, invalidated over here, and immediately rejected and came right back up, right? So, yeah, if we drop, then there's a lot of room for it to drop to the downside, uh, really all the way down to like 315.51. I've never really, okay, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, just getting his notes, so to speak. All right. So yeah, if Lulu, again, that 363 area is going to be pretty important, but Lulu has an ATR of $9, right? So um potential to get to 363, that's only a $14 difference. It can actually do that this week. Let me see. It was announced after closing that Lulu will be added. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. For the open on. So you know what? Yeah, never mind. Thank you for bringing that up. See, didn't know that. Thank you for pointing that out, Erica B. In that case, nah, forget what I just said. Forget everything that I just said. Because yeah, when it's being added to the S&P, it's probably going to run. Honestly, um, you'll probably see it run on Monday and Tuesday. Give me 1 second. All right, so thank you so much for that. Because yeah, this is definitely not a ticket that's even in my watch list, so that's probably why I didn't get any news about it. Um, I'm gonna give it to you both sides though, just in case, right? Because you never know. Because honestly, like with the outside news, I know Lulu getting added to S&P 500 is usually bullish, but honestly, with everything else going on outside of the market, I don't know. So I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give both sides of it, right? I'm gonna give you contracts for both sides if it triggers either side of it, so that potentially you can make money either way, right? If it does, head to the downside first, you make your money off of that, and then if it does on Wednesday, like runs up, continues to run up, then um, to the call side, then we're cool there too. You said it's already up $8 to $10 in the after hours. Let me look. How bad is it? Let me see what is that right now. But good for you, Lulu. Well, shit, it's up $18 in the after. This shit's almost at 400. Yeah. Then in that case, I would say wait before you take anything, jump into anything. It's already up damn near 4 or 5%, almost 5%. So I would say wait before you take anything. Um, I'm still gonna give you, whatever plays to both sides of it. Looking at where potentially could have some resistance. Actually, hold up. Kind of double top there at 406.75. So be aware of that level, 406.75. Um, but yeah, it could potentially, bust through all of that, to be honest with you, for being added to the S&P. But still be aware of that 406.75 level. See what it does around that level. Because if it exhausts around that level and then, starts coming back down through the range, this would be a perfect opportunity for puts. Um, but if it continues to push up, where could you potentially, is that all-time highs? Oh, I was about to say, like, shit, no way. I'm gonna have to chart this one out. Yeah, to see. Yeah, between 406 and 410 is an area that I would really pay attention to. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to chart this one out and then I'll give the summary of it. But thank you so much for the news, Erica B. For sure. That really saved that because I'm like over here talking about puts and then you pop out with that news. I'm like, yeah, shit's probably running, if not running already. And yes, it is. Damn. What a move. So hopefully that sustains for Monday for those of you in calls on Lulu. All right, so let me put that back the way it was. Let me just throw this up there. All right, so back to AVGO because he didn't answer me on that. So yes, he is thinking. Sal's already in this. He says he's in a small swing for this. Like when I say small, I mean like contracts, not like um, short time frame. But AVGO is yeah. So if you look over here on the week, it's a lot more clear. You could probably see it on the day, but exhausting around the same area, right? Exhaustion there. So basically, if we look from here and then kind of go up a little bit, there we go. So, right, same exhaustion over these past three candles. Struggle to stay up there. Actually, up here as well too. So yeah, this level right here is an important level because it has an important level of resistance because it struggled to stay above that level right there. So honestly, probably could have cheated a little bit and jumped into puts right around that same level. But yeah, we're set up for the daily to go 2-2 reversal to the downside. Same thing on the 2 day, but again, the 2 day doesn't close until the end of Monday. Same thing with the 4 day, right? Just keep in mind that there is a lot of room for it to drop. This is a PMG setup to the downside on the 4 day. on the 2 day and then also on the daily as well too. So there's a lot of targets to take out back to the downside. Um, oh yeah, definitely a lot of room to drop. Holy crap. And this one actually has a really high ATR, right? $24. So and that's on the daily, right? So this thing could really potentially in a week, I won't say it will get all the way down to 800, but we can get down to like the 815, 820 level. It wouldn't take much for that to happen, especially if we have a sell-off as well, right? So just know on the weekly though, be aware of that level right there, like the past 3 weeks. We've exhausted below the 829, so probably looking at a target of like 830 or something like that. I don't know what contract specifically Sal is in, but and I don't know how it's actually. Let me just look at it. ABGO, excuse me. I don't know why my thinkorswim. Ever since Charles Schwab has taken over, like my thinkorswim has kind of been rocking a little slow. Like it's been harder for it, like takes a long time for it to pull up some tickers sometimes. It's a little annoying. All right, so yeah, so like the 840, I mean, that's asking $340 a contract. Um, Probably, and I'll probably pick that one out as my contract. Um, mm, yeah, because that one has better volume in my opinion, and also more open interest than the 830. So I'll probably choose the 840. And again, it could do that this week, potentially again if we continue to have that sell off. Um, but be careful. Again, it's a very volatile ticker, obviously with an ATR of $24. So just be careful for that. But yeah, if it takes out all targets to the downside, it eventually comes back down to 811.72. But these are the targets that you would want to know. Um, there, 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 and there. Right? 876.43, 856, 855, 837, and then 811. AVGO is in, damn, I don't have my Excel. I think it's in, give me one second. Let me open up my handy dandy sector holdings. Um, open this up. So AVGO is also in chips. So, you mean, yeah, TSM, INTC, like any of the other chip, like QCOM, any one of those others, that aren't as expensive, you can look at those, you know. So, all right. So, let's see what else, what else, what else. So, ABGO, adding that to the list. All right. I did say AMD. I did say Roblox. What else? I took care of that. I took care of CLF, Snow. Let's see. So over here, let's take a look at the XLC real quick. Yeah, but those, like, yes, I agree with you, but those don't really have, um, like Lamb Research is not like, it's what, one, two, three. ASML is actually third though, so it might actually react more to ASML, more so than LRCX. But you're right. Chips could react to that. We'll see how it goes though. So XLC, I had this range drawn out from a long time ago. Because as you can see, it keeps rejecting this range. So XLC kind of did the same thing again on the weekly. So this one is a watch with a potential entry in one of its tickers. We made higher highs, but then immediately exhausted, right? Here's your top right here, there on the 4 day, and then it also obviously matches perfectly on the weekly as well too. So with that being said, you may want to look at some of the tickers in XLC. Meta is probably one of the more expensive ones, but that shooter on Meta can't really ignore that. Cannot really ignore that, right? Also, with the PMG set up to the downside, we've taken out the majority of targets. Still have to take out this target and then that target there as well too, and also not to mention the fair value gap. That also, see if it gets invalidated or validated. That 300 level though is a level that it has struggled to stay below. So I would probably say look at maybe like the 310 to 305s, or you could go for that 300 level. Just understand that that's a level that has acted as some really good support for Meta. But if it breaks below that, like it could really drop, honestly. It really has to get below, in my opinion, below the 290 level. And then, yeah, we could really see it start to come down pretty harshly. We'll see how it goes though. But yeah, that 300 level is pretty good support for Meta. But I do like it to reverse to the downside. Yes, I know that full time frame continuity is currently bullish, but we've hit a top, we've reversed off of it, and then um, can't ignore that shooter on the week and then the shooter on the 2 week as well too. And also the month on the monthly time frame, we'll see how November goes. But if we end up with this also ends up being a shooter, we could end up potentially working on a 1-2 rev strat to the downside for Meta. All right, so I'm gonna add that to it as well too. Let's see what we got: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the last one. Um, I'm stuck between these two tickers because with Boeing, so with Boeing, you already have FTC to the downside. Just normally, like we've taken out a lot of lows for Boeing. Um, you can see it's been bleeding, obviously, right? So, and then we ended up with shooter vibes on the week as well too, and then we got the 2-2 reversal to the downside. So Boeing could potentially drop more. I'm just not really a fan on the smaller time frames of we've taken out a lot of lows, right? We can actually draw the broadening formation, but it doesn't look like it's ready to bounce just yet. The only reason why I still like it though is because when you look at the larger time frames, you can see there's still a hell of a lot more room for it to drop to the downside. So I'm gonna add it in, but then I'm gonna just add caution to it as well, because it's been working on a PMG setup to the upside. It just hasn't shown any type of exhaustion um, yet, right? Even with the exhaustion over here, I'm not ready to say it's ready to reverse back to the upside. Not really the kind of hammer that I'd be looking for. Yes, I know that there's a gap up here, but BA could potentially continue to bleed. Um, Especially when you look at like XLI, you see that there's still room to the downside. Shooter on the week as well. Room to the downside on the daily as well. And then also I think BA is also in Jets. And yeah, Jets has just been bleeding this entire time. It really hasn't shown any signs of stopping, honestly. And Jets is very close to taking the year down. Right now it's inside shooter on the year, but as you can see, it's what, $1 and change away from taking the year down. It's already taken the quarter down. It's taking the month down as well too. So yeah, it looks like it's coming to take that year out, in my opinion. So I do like BA continuing to the downside. The only thing I don't like is again just it's been bleeding for so long, um, but it did take out a pretty good level of support. It's been bleeding for so long, I feel like there's a chance for reversal at any given time. This week, though, honestly, if news continues the way it is, combined with OPEX, and if the Fed start talking about, holding on to the rates for a lot longer, yeah, to me, that sounds like a recipe for more blood in the streets, if you ask me. Maybe we're bleeding now so that maybe we can have a little Christmas, Thanksgiving and Christmas run up. But yeah, to me, looking at everything, it still sounds pretty bloody to me. But that's when usually the market does that little Kansas City shuffle shit that it does. So that's why it's good to be prepped for anything. So DKNG, DraftKings was the other one. Um, we are potentially wait, I wrote in the notes 122. Oh, on the weekly we are set up right after making lower highs. So we've been making lower highs since 34.46, right, as you can see, right? And so we are set up for a 122 rev strat. After getting that 212 reversal, we're set up for that 122 rev strat back to the downside. All time frames are currently bearish except for the year. The month is currently double inside, but as you can see, 2720, it's not that far away. We get below that, and we are set up for a 212 reversal to the downside on the month. And then, although we ended up with a 322 red strat to the upside on the 2 week, this could potentially keep heading down. And then instead of a 322 rev strat on the 2 week, we can end up with a 323 to the downside if it takes out the lows as well. So I'm gonna add it. I know we normally kind of stop at 10 tickers, but I'm gonna add it either way. And because it's a lot cheaper than BA as well, and it's more small account friendly. So that's all I got for you. I will put out the weekly watch list inside of the Zamunda swings. Also, you could take this in conjunction with whatever plays that you're looking at. Make sure you chart your plays out for sure. And just again, on Monday, let the market open, right? A lot of news has come out over the weekend. I know that they're really watching the situation over there in the Middle East as well too. So pay attention to futures, right? Make sure you are charting out futures, see how they open, see what's going on. They're currently red right now. Oil seems to be going up, which honestly I expected. I expected that. I just have a tendency to stay away from oil lately. But yeah, oil's currently going up. We'll see what happens with that. Let me see. So hmm, actually might be a good look for calls. Inside on the 2 week and the week. And what are we coming from? Yeah, so we made the lower lows. We took out these lows over here. Sure did. And then looks like we're reversing back to the upside potentially. Yeah, so oil, yeah, you may want to throw some oil tickers in there, like Oxy, uh, MRO, XOM as well too. So yeah, you definitely want to chart those out for sure. All right, that's all I really got for you. I will go ahead and put the video out. Um, I'll add to your homework, chart out Oxy, right? For those of you in the video, chart out Oxy, put in beginner's chat what your bias is on it. I'm not gonna take a look at it right now. I just wanna, I want you guys to look at it. but yeah, we'll see how oil reacts to it. And then, yeah, like I said, on Monday, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on with the futures. As well, if you're up early enough, I think FIFA and Futures Assassin will be doing their thing in the futures chat. And that's kind of like a precursor to how the market is going to be on Monday and then, every single day going forward. So make sure you chart that out. Um, Also chart out some things like DXY. Not charted to play it, but just see what like usually if the dollar's going up, SPY's going down. So what a run up. Jesus Christ. What a run up, boy. And not really seeing a sign yet of exhaustion just yet. I mean, I thought last week we were going to get that, but then we ended up with a two down bull candle, so we could potentially reverse right back to the upside. Momo hammer. Um, Not quite a hammer. I'm sorry, not quite a hammer. Not quite a hammer because it's definitely like 50% of the body of the candle, not 33% of it, but still could get that two to reversal back to the upside. So we'll see what happens up there. But yeah, chart that out. VXX also moves inverse to SPY, right? These are some tickers that you want to know about. See how that's looking, right? So we got the 3-2 to the upside, 2-2 reversal there, 2-2 reversal on the 2-day as well too. Working on a hammer, looks like on the 2-week with the potential to go outside on the 2-week. Kind of hammerish vibes on the weekly, so we're looking to set up the 2-2 reversal there as well too. On the month, again working on the no, we're still two. I'm sorry, that is a two up already. So we went 2-2 reversal on the month. Just got to stay in force on that. So yeah, definitely chart out those tickers. Again, this, people do trade this as well too. If SPY's going down, then they jump in calls for VXX and let that run up happen as well too. So anyway, those are some tickers for you to throw in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.